what up? It's me again, Wall Street. And today I want to talk about one of my favorite rookies in last year's draft, or I guess this past year's draft, if you will. Rob Dillingham, aka Rob with the shifts, and that's shifts, not because I do not want to get demonetized, YouTube. So, my boy Rob has not yet made his NBA debut. And the Minnesota Timberwolves have played 5 games now. And I'm a little confused because I really don't understand why they have not felt the need to get him into the game, right? And remember, the Wolves traded for this pick. The pick was originally held by the Spurs. The Spurs had originally the 4th pick, which became Stephon Castle, who remained with the Spurs, and the 8th pick, which became Rob Dillingham. And Rob was then traded on draft night in exchange for, I believe, a first-round pick swap and a unprotected first-round pick in 2030 and 2031, respectively. I might be mixing up the pick swap and the unprotected pick, but you catch my drift. It's a little bit a ways away. So the point, I believe, here was drafting Rob Dillingham to soon replace Mike Conley as the facilitator of the offense for the Minnesota Timberwolves, because Mike Conley is 37 years old. He was drafted in 2007 and is one of the very few remaining players beyond the 2009 NBA draft. So another notable player from the 2007 NBA draft is Kevin Durant. So Mike Conley is in some exclusive company for sure, but Mike Conley has been playing like dog, and it is even more impeccable now to me that they're not playing Rob Dillingham, despite Mike Conley's woes throughout the first 5 games. And they have a above 500 record. They're 3-2. They beat the Denver Nuggets last night. But every single game that they've played, except for one, has basically been decided by less than 10 points. The only game that they played that was decided by more than 10 points was a win against the Toronto Raptors on October 26th. And the Toronto Raptors are also bad, very bad. So Mike Conley is currently shooting 23.7% from the field and is averaging not too many turnovers, 1.4 turnovers per game, and 7.8 points per game. But his highest scoring outing was in that game against Toronto, where he scored 10 points. But he still shot 22% from the field in that game. And he's not shooting better from 3, or all much better. You know, he's shooting 29.6% from 3-point range. Also not great. And you could make the argument that, is Rob Dillingham really going to play better, right? I think they're kind of a discombobulated team right now just because of the trade that happened with Cat. And it seems like, it just feels like the Wolves didn't really want Donte DiVincenzo in the trade. You know, like he's not playing great yet either. He's only averaging about 9 points a game through their first 5 games. But it's just like their depth chart to me is a little confusing. It's just a little confusing. And I think it's worth noting that the other rookie that they picked in the, later end of the first round, I think he was the 26th pick or somewhere in the 20s, Terrence Shannon Jr., has also not made his NBA debut yet. But that's a little bit different. This is the 8th overall pick versus, a late first round pick. So currently on ESPN, they have listed as the Timberwolves depth chart. At point guard starting is Mike Conley. Second up is Donte DiVincenzo. And then third is Rob Dillingham. And then 4th is Nickeil Alexander-Walker. 5th is Daishawn Nix, which he's not even dressing for games half the time. So once you're kind of 5th on the depth chart, you're not really expecting to get checked in a lot unless there's major injuries ahead of you. So that's kind of the situation there. But for shooting guard too, it's they only have Rob listed as depth for the point guard, which Rob is 6'3". He could probably play the 2 guard. So I don't really understand why he's not listed there either. The current shooting guard depth is Anthony Edwards, obviously starting, and then Nickeil Alexander-Walker second, Dante third, and then Joe Ingles fourth. I honestly forgot that Joe Ingles was even on this team. And then we have Jaden McDaniels starting at the 3 spot, Joe Ingles second off the bench for the 3 spot, Dante third off the bench for the 3 spot, and then Terrence Shannon Jr. fourth for the 3 spot. So, I mean, Rob Dillingham can, I think, do what Mike Conley's doing right now, right? And if Mike Conley's playing this bad, and you're really just getting wins in very close games, like their win against the Kings was 117 to 115. Their win against Denver last night was 119 to 116, and they were down by a decent margin before they mounted that comeback. So I'm just like, why not give the guy a chance, right? Like, why not get him in the game? Why not at least get him in the game towards like the end if it's like, you know, I don't know. I mean, I think they have a couple games coming up in the next week or so against Portland. I think they're playing Portland like 3 times in 5 days. So I would think he's probably going to make his debut by then. But I just like feel bad for the guy, right? Like there's a lot of all the other rookies basically like in the lottery have been kind of getting time. I mean, Nikola Topic hasn't. I think he's recovered from his ACL injury, but the Thunder are not playing him. But the Thunder are also a little bit different. The Thunder are currently undefeated, doing very well. I can understand why they don't want to necessarily disrupt that flow. But the Timberwolves have not looked great, in my opinion. They really haven't. Anthony Edwards looks good. It's a decent showing so far for them, but they're not really resembling a team that made it to the Western Conference Finals last year. They're just not. And I think it's probably still too early to say, but it seems like they probably did not win this trade with Cat. And I don't know. I'm like, why not get Rob in? Like, because if you want him to be a very needs-based player, right? Meaning like he needs to fit into the way that you're trying to play. I think he can do that, right? He's a good passer. He had a preseason game where I think he put up like 12 assists against the Magic, and also had like 23 points. So he can do a lot, and he's very quick, very shifty. Hence the name Rob with the shifts. And I just don't understand why they haven't checked him in yet. Like, frankly, Rob Dillingham, in my opinion, felt a lot more like NBA ready than even like Alex Sarr did, right? Like, Rob Dillingham has a lot more skill right now than Alex Sarr does. But obviously, the Wizards are a little bit of a different situation, even though we're 2-2. Go Wizards, right? But it's just, I want to see Rob play. I think he's going to be a great player. I think it's way better to get him in earlier rather than later, because, you know, this can really take a toll on a young player's psyche. And if you're just not letting him get in and he's seeing all these other rookies, guys that got picked after him, like Bub Carrington, like having a, you know, putting on a show, you know, leading all rookies in scoring through the first 5 games or so, like Rob's probably like, that should be me. Like, I should be out there. I should be playing. He's a dedicated guy, and I'm sure he's, you know, taking it one day at a time. Mike Conley spoke on it to the media a little bit, just saying that he's trying to keep Rob mentally sane and just, you know, telling him you just got to stay ready. Your opportunity is going to come, and his opportunity will come. But, you know, I would love to see him just get checked into the game, right? So I don't know how you guys feel about it, if you guys have even noticed that Rob Dillingham isn't playing, but that's like the big thing that I've been noticing for, you know, the last week or so since the NBA started. It's just like, when are they going to check Rob in, right? Like, Bronny's playing, got to check Rob in. So I'm just waiting to see Rob hit the floor in that Timberwolves uni and just play his heart out. He's a good dude, plays hard, you know, and he shot a good percentage from 3 in college. And he mainly came off the bench. It's, you know, you don't need to start the guy, but like give him a couple minutes, you know, just like let him play. So I'm looking forward to seeing him get on the court when he eventually does. But let me know what you guys think. You think they're keeping Rob off the court for a particular reason? Do you think he's maybe not as NBA ready as we thought, and that's why? Let me know in the comments. As always, if you want to support the channel, please leave me a like, subscribe. If you didn't like the video, leave me a dislike and let me know why. Tell me how you really feel. So I'll catch you guys with the next one. Peace out. Stay safe.